We often think that we know everything about our planet, but honestly, we can't even imagine the diverse creatures living next to us. Some of them could easily replace humans if they were just a little luckier. Besides their primary brain, they have 8 smaller brains in different body parts. And these additional brains, well, they make decisions on their own. And under our feet, there may be a whole civilization that outnumbers humanity by 6 orders of magnitude. That is, 1.5 million times more than us. They have a clear hierarchy, professions, and career ladders. But at the same time, a simple infection can literally turn them into zombies. Is this something out of post-apocalyptic science fiction? And these cute flying creatures are actually some of the most fierce and successful predators on Earth. Their hunting efficiency is almost impeccable. Nothing can save you from the attack of these nearly perfect killers. In this video, we will visit the Museum of Terrestrial Life. Whether you are a science enthusiast, a nature lover, or simply curious about the world around you, the Museum of Terrestrial Life is an excellent place to visit and deepen your understanding of the incredible diversity of life on Earth. The Museum of Terrestrial Life. Imagine a creature that has 3 hearts pumping blue blood through the vessels. Although it has an almost amorphous body resembling a bag of water, it can easily open a bottle, even a baby-proofed one. It can feel light and even taste with its skin. It has no ears, but it hears well, even in the infrarain. It can constantly change color and texture, becoming indistinguishable from the environment, even though it doesn't identify colors at all and sees the world in black and white. It's venomous and can be hostile, but at the same time, it's curious and even playful. On top of that, it's highly intelligent and can solve non-trivial problems. In addition to the main brain, it has 8 smaller brains in different parts of the body, and these additional brains make their own decisions. Who is this monster? Does it come from Earth? Yes, you got that right. It's an octopus, and of course it comes from our planet, although, some scientists entertain another idea. But first things first. The mystery of the octopus. We are certainly used to modern octopuses, or octopi. Everyone has known these creatures since childhood, and this somewhat reduces our perceptual acuity. Seeing these shots, many feel surprised, but hardly anyone feels excitement or delight, even though the metamorphosis of the X-Men superheroes aren't that different. But for some reason, we perceive what we see in movies as something extraordinary, and yet we can't recognize that similar things that happen in nature can be no less extraordinary. Isn't it time to revisit how we see these creatures? Moreover, octopi are much more interesting than many people think. Octopi belong to this class of cephalopods, which is, incredibly ancient, and was formed about 530 million years ago. Back then, there was hardly anything resembling fish, let alone reptiles or mammals. The early ancestor of the octopus, it was quite small, had a protective shell, and crawled along the ocean floor. Unfortunately, having that protective shell makes species evolve very slowly. For example, turtles have stayed virtually unchanged for millions of years. But then, about 140 million years ago, something went wrong, and these creatures evolved to be shellless, with a soft and defenseless body, and at first, no camouflage at all. Clumsy octopus ancestors had very slim chances of survival. This was really the moment of truth. Either cephalopods became easy prey for predators and completely died out, or they started developing faster and honestly, more creatively. As you can see, the cephalopods decided to fight for life and radically rebuilt their anatomy, and what they did turned out to be, incredibly efficient and completely outside the box. Firstly, The octopi turned their soft and almost amorphous body into a strength, not a weakness. Since the octopus has almost no firm parts except for the beak, it can crawl into any hole if it's at least a millimeter wider than its eyeball or beak. This allows the octopus to hide in very narrow crevices, which is a powerful evolutionary advantage for escaping large predators, such as sharks or dolphins. Second, octopi have evolved an even smarter way of staying unnoticed. In fact, they're honestly one of the best animals on the planet when it comes to disguising themselves. Notice how quickly and unexpectedly it changes color. And not only color, but also texture, that is, patterns. And not only texture, but even their body surface configuration. These changes can occur instantly or in stages as the octopus merges with its environment. The animal instantly becomes, well, indistinguishable from a group of algae, coral, sand, stone, or honestly anything else. We've seen this kind of thing only in science fiction movies, but at the same time, here it is. What is this guy doing? Does it follow any laws of nature at all? And how is this even possible? Yes, it's really hard to understand. Cephalopod camouflage relies on a system of extremely complex tissues. Chromatophores are scattered throughout the octopus's skin. These are tiny sacs filled with pigment. They densely cover the skin, kind of like freckles. The chromatophores can have black, red, or yellow pigment. The sacs are surrounded by radial muscles that can stretch the container, thereby revealing the pigment color. Depending on which sets of chromatophores the octopus opens or closes, it can create stripes, spots, and design entire patterns, instantly becoming, well, indistinguishable from nearby objects or the background. You might think, black, red, and yellow, but what about other colors? For this, the octopus uses a whole different mechanism, which is even cooler. There's a whole layer of highly unusual thin cells that grow in a kind of stacks in the octopus's transparent skin. These are iridophores, which are located directly below the chromatophore layer, and unlike chromatophores, they don't contain pigment, but rather special proteins called reflectin. Their unique property is being able to reflect only certain light wavelengths. It is thanks to iridophores that the octopus can turn into unreal shades of metallic blue and green. But that's not all. Under the iridophore layer, there's another layer with other natural reflectors called leucophores. They reflect the entire spectrum, thereby creating a white color. By combining reflections from iridophores and leucophores with the correct pattern of chromatophores, an octopus can quite convincingly recreate its surroundings. But even that's not all of it. The octopus's camouflage arsenal has a real combo that virtually allows it to disappear from sight altogether. Its skin has another structure, a network of papillae that can change the skin texture, creating rising and falling ridges and bumps. So, the octopus imitates not only the color and pattern of the surroundings, but even the surface configuration. Do you spot an octopus here? I don't see it either. Nobody does. And yet, it's in front of us with all these tools, the soft-bodied, shell-less wonder.